A mature woman has lived enough to know the difference between someone who wants her and someone who truly sees her. She has been through enough to stop being moved by grand gestures and surface-level charm. What reaches her now is quieter than that, more intentional, more human. It is not about the dramatic moments. It is about the small ones, the ones that say, "I notice you," without a single word being spoken. Today we are talking about 9 kinds of touch that go straight past the surface and land somewhere deep. The kind that does not just feel good in the moment, but stays with her long after you have both moved on with your day. Touch 1. The hand on the small of her back. There is something about this particular touch that communicates presence without possession. It is not grabbing, it is not directing. It is a quiet placement of warmth that says, "I am here, right beside you, and I want you to feel that." For a mature woman who has navigated much of life carrying her own weight, this touch lands as something rare, the feeling of being accompanied rather than managed. It does not demand anything, it simply offers steadiness. And steadiness, to a woman who has learned to trust slowly, is one of the most emotionally powerful things another person can offer. Touch 2. Holding her hand first. Not waiting for her to reach, not leaving it as a possibility, reaching first. This matters more than most people realize because it removes the question she has learned to quietly carry. Does he actually want to be close to me, or am I reading into this? When you reach for her hand without being prompted, without it being a response to something she did, you answer that question before she has to ask it. Emotional safety in love is built in these small, unprompted moments of choosing, and a mature woman feels every one of them. Touch 3. A hand held against her face. Slow, gentle, with full attention behind it. This is one of the most emotionally intimate touches that exists between two people because it requires her to be completely still and completely seen at the same time. A mature woman does not offer that kind of stillness to just anyone. She has learned to keep moving, to stay composed, to manage her expression in most situations. When someone touches her face with genuine tenderness and holds her gaze in that moment, it breaks through something she did not even know was still guarded. It says, "I am not in a hurry. You are worth slowing down for." That lands somewhere words cannot reach. Touch 4. The forehead kiss. This one carries a specific emotional weight that is different from any other kind of kiss. It is not romantic in the passionate sense. It is tender in a way that goes deeper than passion. A forehead kiss communicates protection, reverence, and genuine affection all at once. For a mature woman who has spent years in a world that often values her for what she produces or how she appears, being kissed on the forehead feels like being cared for at the level of her whole self, not just the parts on display. It is one of the quietest and most profound ways to make her feel loved. Touch 5. Reaching for her in sleep. The subconscious does not perform. When someone reaches for another person in the middle of the night, not because they plan to, not because anyone is watching, but because their body simply moved toward warmth, it is one of the most honest expressions of attachment that exists. A mature woman who wakes to find you have pulled her closer in sleep receives a message that no waking gesture can quite replicate. It tells her that even when your guard is completely down, even when you have no awareness of being seen, you still chose her. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Touch 6. A hand on her shoulder during a hard moment. Not trying to fix it, not offering a solution, just placing a hand on her shoulder and letting it stay there, warm and unhurried. A mature woman has learned to handle difficulty with composure. She has often been the person others lean on, the one who holds things together. When someone simply sits beside her difficulty and touches her with quiet solidarity, it reaches a part of her that rarely gets tended to.
She does not need to be saved. She needs to feel that she is not alone in it. That single touch, offered without agenda, can make her feel more loved than an hour of conversation. Touch 9. Running a hand through her hair. Slowly, without purpose other than to be close to her. This is the kind of touch that exists purely in the language of tenderness. It is not leading anywhere. It is not asking for anything. It is simply an expression of comfort and intimacy. For a mature woman, this touch communicates a specific kind of safety. The safety of being with someone who is not always moving towards something, someone who is capable of being fully present with her without needing the moment to become something else. That quality of unhurried presence is deeply rare and deeply felt.
Touch 8. The lingering hug. Most hugs are transactional. They arrive and end within seconds, fulfilling a social requirement and moving on. But a hug that lingers, one that does not release at the first natural pause, one that holds on just a little past the point of obligation, communicates something entirely different. It says, "I am not in a rush to leave this." For a mature woman who understands how precious unhurried connection is in a fast-moving world, a hug that lingers is not just comforting, it is quietly profound. It is two people agreeing, without words, to stay in warmth just a little longer than the world requires them to. Touch 9. Taking her hand when she does not expect it. In the middle of a walk, during a quiet moment between conversations, while watching something together. No reason, no occasion, just reaching over and taking her hand because you wanted to. This kind of spontaneous, unprompted connection is what a mature woman remembers. Not the planned romantic gestures, the unplanned ones. The ones that reveal how you feel about her, not because the moment called for it, but because the feeling simply moved through you and you followed it. That authenticity is what she has been looking for. That is what makes her feel not just chosen in the moments that are supposed to matter, but chosen in all the ordinary ones too. 9 touches, none of them dramatic, all of them deeply felt. A mature woman does not fall in love with performance. She falls in love with presence, with consistency, with the quiet, unhurried way someone chooses to be close to her, not because the moment demands it, but because something genuine in them simply wants to be. That's what reaches her. That's what stays. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these touches you feel most deeply, or which one you've been missing. I read every single one.